At 19 after the hour, one of our friends from Westwood Baptist is here, and Pastor
Don't beat me to
Smart.
Pastor Steve.
Oh, man! We already had Paul Davis, of course, is here, and we've already had a text that your birthday's tomorrow. Somebody literally texted in to want me to know that.
Wow.
And whoever texted in, just let me inform you, he tells it, and Pastor Smart can tell you, he reminds us ad nauseum all year.
Absolutely.
Basically.
And April is the month of Paul.
And not the Apostle Paul.
Not the Apostle Paul.
Although he is a thorn in our flesh. So anyway, do you like this?
I'm loving it.
All this attention.
Yes. Yeah. Well, it's a nice month. My mom was, her birthday was this month, and so mine's in this month. So I think it's a great month. But I just decided I would, declare it the month of Paul,
yes.
And then I share it with Jesus. And,
self-declared.
And so he gets top billing for this month.
Oh, okay, good.
But in the months of when Easter's in March, then I get top billing in April.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen.
I figure we need something other than tax day to celebrate.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, that's right.
So give your money to me. Yeah. I'll give 10% back to Westwood Baptist Church, and
I'm going to
we will build a prayer tower and name it the Heartline Holiness Tower or something like that. So how about that? Of course, it wouldn't be a very big tower because based on your height, it would probably be like 3 feet or something.
Come on. That is low-hanging fruit. Oh, my Lord. Pastor, again, our prayers are with you.
Yes,
Thank you. Well, let's get serious just for a second, though. Pastor Steve Smart here, Westwood Baptist Church, and there's no better week than this on the calendar, is there?
Yeah, of course. We were just talking to Pastor Kevin Glamry as he was just before us, and we were both agreeing that obviously, it sounds cliche, but it bears saying, every Sunday is Resurrection Sunday. We have 52 opportunities throughout the year to have a first Lord's Day to celebrate the essence and the substance and the necessity of our faith, and that's the resurrected Christ. But on this day, the whole world has to pay attention to it. This is the day when we certainly, whether they like it or not, they have to come to terms with the fact that Christ is raised, and they can, the world comes up with all kinds of ways of explaining or distracting. We talk about bunnies, and there's nothing wrong with those things, but at the end of the day, on Sunday morning, we're going to gather together and we're going to exalt the only reason for our hope, and that is the risen Christ. So.
Paul Davis, tell us what's happening at Westwood as you guys celebrate Easter.
Well, we have a sunrise service, which we've done for a number of years out at our pavilion in the back of our property. It has such a beautiful view of the ridge line back towards Cleveland State and that area, and so we'll have that at 7 a.m. And we are thankful that this year that it's not 30, so we've huddled back there together a few years, which I said promotes community, because you're trying to get warm, but it's a beautiful time, and we're out there for about 45 minutes that morning, and then this year we're going to have 2 services. Our first being at 9 a.m. and then we'll come back at 10:30 a.m. for our second service. And
Pastor, talk about the services, and obviously the focus is Easter, but tell us a little bit about what's going to be happening.
Yeah, so one of the things like I said, we'll celebrate the resurrection, obviously, and that'll be from a thematic portion. Every church, I think, should do that on that particular day, obviously. But rather than do a lot of churches choose to do special events and things like that. And there's nothing wrong with that. For us, though, we want to have a worship service that continues what we did last week and is going to continue the weeks that follow. And so we'll have a great opportunity for our church. One thing about Westwood I'm so thankful for over these many years is the warmth of the congregation and the welcoming nature I can't tell you how many times people will say to me, Westwood is such a friendly congregation in spite of you. And so,
in spite of him.
In spite of it, yeah.
My Lord.
But no, they'll say such a warm.
You've never been accused of that, have you? Not one time.
Of what? Being not friendly?
No, friendly.
Oh, being friendly.
Yeah, friendly. You've never been accused of being friendly.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, of course not. No. Good morning, Connie.
Yeah, but it's such a it's a warm.
Absolutely.
Welcoming congregation, and it's just a blessing to be able to welcome folks. We'll have a lot of guests on that day, and it's our privilege to welcome them, and so we'll be thankful to do that.
And typically, your church, if you look throughout history, let's just say, your church will reflect the leadership of your pastor and how they approach that as well too. So Pastor Steve Best, certainly Brother Bob Bell for a number of years or whatever. And it just I growing up there, since I was 5, and I would be out in the community, and we would talk about Westwood, and they would always say what Pastor says, that was a friendly church, or that is a friendly church, or those type of things. And so that's a blessing because unfortunately there are churches that really struggle with that, and so we're blessed by that. So
Would you like to name some names?
I was thinking of some, but I can't say them.
Why not?
They're not in this area, So.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, sure.
All kidding aside, though, that is something that I think we have that's unique in our community. Through the Cleveland Ministers Network, we have an opportunity to meet a lot of different pastors and ministry leaders, and I can tell you there is a warmth and a concern, a burden to exalt Christ in our churches, and that's I think that sets a lot of pace. We're not perfect. We've got every church has their issues, but at the end of the day, it's a reminder that we need Christ and that we've gathered together for that purpose.
All right, Paul Davis, how can people find out all the details about this week, this Sunday at Westwood Baptist Church?
Well, for the 4 people that are probably watching this morning on Mix 104, we were thankful. Honestly, I know you went off on this I know you went off on this as a ministry, but it is really a blessing to our community, especially the fact that Bridget is here, and that poor soul right there that wrote that card to you. We'll pray for them. But,
Okay, well let's talk about this. So I came in this morning. You're just joining us. There was a card on my desk, and it says, and I, well, fine, I'll read the whole thing. Enjoy. I didn't even do this for North Cleveland, so Westwood will go to me.
What a bonus!
Enjoy. Well, this is the card here. It's a day spring, Christian. So enjoy all the blessings of Easter and spring, the promise of new life that this season brings. When miracles shine, will you lay hands on him while I do this? Yes. With a hope that is true, because Jesus is risen and love lives anew. Now, Paul, if you'll place your right hand on the Bible. Anyway, happy Easter. And here's what they say. Thank you for your ministry. Thank you. Celebrating him with you this, excuse me, you this Easter, Karen and Gerald Tanton.
How very nice.
Do you have a comment here?
That's sweet. I think she probably was writing, thank you that you're just a mystery or something like that.
No. Here it is. Thank you for your ministry.
Wow.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Eat that, big boy.
Well, here's what we know about pastors. Pastors
I see great consistency with your response.
Pastors are called by church congregations and installed and ordained.
Yes.
And so I'm just trying to figure out which one did that for you.
Tom Rowland.
Okay. Hey, I saw Tom last night at Garden Plaza, and as I went up to visit my dad, and I think his mother-in-law's in there. And so,
yes.
And so
Tom and Sandra.
Yeah.
All right. Well, now let's get serious for a second.
Okay,
How do people find out all about this?
You can go to the Westwood Baptist Church Facebook page, or you can go to westwoodlife.org and get information about our services this weekend. You can watch online on Sunday mornings on our YouTube channel as well. And so we've got quite a few avenues. And then we have the edited and cleaned up version of a sermon that re-airs on Mix 104. Right? Yeah. Well, I'm not saying that we have to clean up what pastor says. Although I think we have had to do that once or twice.
There's a couple of things we got to do.
Yes. Tell you about it. All right, guys. It's always a pleasure, and it is, of course, Westwood Baptist Church. There it is. If you're watching, as Paul said, I'm talking about this Paul, not the real Paul from the Bible. Mixtv.tv. There's the schedule. Easter at Westwood Baptist. All right, guys. Yeah. Good to see
Bless
you.
Thanks.
And realize I've got to buy his lunch today.
Oh.
Okay. So this is a problem.
Do you know, honestly, what one of the Easter's why we were here, but earlier on, the pastor said, could you not get us back on Mix 104 since the Gators won the national championship?
Thank you for bringing that up. Let's talk about that. Go Gators.
That's right.
That's right.
What a
Thank you for
run.
bringing that
Yeah,
up. That's man.
I felt
that's
that
a
like it
pleasure.
was to be
That's
self-serving
right.
if you
He's
did
a,
it. So,
he's a North Carolina fan. He doesn't care.
yeah.
So, yeah, how about that?
Yeah, go
man?
Gators. That's right.
That was a really, I mean, I guess, let's talk
It was a
sports for
cardiac
second.
arrest. For 3 games in a row is
Yeah.
what it was.
Man,
Yeah.
and
yeah.
that final game was something.
Amazing. Yeah.
And I'm still trying to figure out the last play when Houston had the ball. It was quite interesting. I didn't know if that was that Florida's defense or Houston's incompetence.
I think it's their love for Christ, and the Florida's
Giving the ball
it's a
away?
seminary. It's practically a seminary.
Oh, Florida?
yeah, yeah.
I'll tell you about some UT fans' experiences in Florida. We'll talk about their love for Christ.
Yeah, no, that's- Go Gators.
Go Gators. All right. Again, our obviously, as you can tell, our dear friends at Westwood Baptist Church, where I graduated nursery school back in the day. Speaking of Pastor Bell. All right.